Just a little bit. Almost there. Screw it. We'll put it right there. That's fine. I know this isn't probably the best right now. Let's see if I can add a little bit more light in here. Probably down right here. Okay. Alright. So I think that's pretty good. Welcome, welcome to the last day of the weekend. Before everyone has to go back to their jobs tomorrow. Try to recover from the eating of all the good food and spend time with all our family. Yeah, so now it's start on this next project that we were continuing off. So the next place that we are going to would be, hold on a second, see if I can lower this just a little more. There we go. I think that should be okay. So the next project that we have is the CSS box model. So we're going to do a Rothko painting, build that, and there's 45 steps in this one. We might get to the Flexbox building a photo gallery. That's 21, so that's pretty short, so we might get to that, so who knows. We'll just have to see what happens during that time. But yeah, let's go ahead and start this one. So remember the last time that we did that, the last project we did was for the survey. We actually did the survey the last time. I'm gonna probably move this over a little bit. There we go. So the last thing we did was the survey. And hold on just a second. What? Sorry about that. Oh. All right. So, where was I? Oh yeah. So, right now we're starting off on learning the box model. Anyone that doesn't know what the box model is, that's like the margins, padding. We've pretty much already talked on this before. You also have like the border, basically alignments like in the box, like all the steps that are inside the boxes. So, and you can see the different ways that it could work right here. So let's go ahead and we'll start this off right now. So, alright, so it wants us to do our basics. So that would be the doc type. Oh my gosh. Okay, doc type HTML, lang, en. Okay. Then we have the header, or the head. And then we have the body. Okay. I think that's all it wanted us to do. Okay. So, to the second step. Alright, so head, we have our meta tag with the char set equal to the UTF-8. And then we have a title element that's Rothko painting. Okay. There we go. And then in the body, we're going to add an image element with the source from this address. We'll throw this in here. Okay. So there you go. There's your box model. Content with the height, width, and then you have all your paddings, margins, that sort of stuff. Remember, the image is a self-closing tag, so it doesn't have an opening and a close. Check that. Alright, so CSS box model. Every HTML element is treated as a box with 4 areas. Imagine you receive a box from your favorite online retailer. The content is the item in the box, or in our case, a header, paragraph, or image element. So change the source attribute in the image from this to this diagram. Okay. So you got the main content, you got the padding, the border, and then I'm assuming this is the margin right here. So the content is surrounded by a space called padding, similar to how bubble wrap separates an item from the box around it. Think of the border like cardboard box your item was shipped in, and change. Okay, so change the source attribute to diagram 3. Could just do a figure. Okay, we'll throw that in there. So now you have the margin. Okay, so there you go. The content, you got padding, border, and then you have the margin right there. As you can see. So that essentially right here is the box model. Alright. So let's check this. Okay. So margin is the area outside the box. So we already know what that was when we've done that in a few sessions already. So you guys should all know the specifics of padding and margins and the border. So you should be all. I think we should be all set with that. So now that we understand the CSS box model, let's start on the Rothko painting. So we'll get rid of the element. Okay, so that's gone. Add a div element in the body. Okay, so we're gonna put a divider, and we need a closing for the div, and then we're gonna add set the class attribute to canvas. Okay. So this div right here is the canvas. That's where all of our stuff is going to be, is inside here. So I'll go ahead and submit, go to the next challenge. We're already on the 7th step. So before you start styling the div you add, you need to link your CSS to your HTML. Okay, so add a link. So we'll do a link. The rel element is style sheet, and then the hyperreference is styles.css. Self-closing. Okay. So we're good. Now we've linked that in here. Alright, so time for the CSS. Even though our div has no text, it's still treated as a box with content. So write a CSS rule that uses the canvas class selector and set its width to 500 pixels. Here's a CSS rule that sets the width of the class card to 300 pixels. Okay, so easy. We're just selecting the canvas class, and we wanted a width of, I believe, 500 pixels. So there we go. Now, if you wanted to visualize what that looks like, oh, that's the width. Duh, it doesn't have a height to it. So, if we went height and made it 200 pixels, there you go, see? So even though the div was empty, it's still treated as if it has a box around it. So we'll put this back. I'm sure it'll explain more about it, but just want good visuals so you guys are kind of following along. So add the height property with the value 600. Alright, so here we go. Height is going to be 6, nope, don't want 500, 600 pixels. So check the code, okay. And we do have a specific background color. Oh my gosh, what the heck is going on with that? Uh-oh. Well, give me just a second. There's a technical difficulty. Let me see if I can straighten that out. Alright. Hold on. Alright. I don't know why that happened. Ugh. I gotta make sure that these things are set the right way real quick. Actually, no. I need to look at this real quick. Yeah, that's... Okay, just wanted to make sure the microphone was still the same. So, okay, I think we're good. I don't exactly know why it did that, so we'll just, I guess, continue. Hopefully it doesn't keep doing that. So do the background, color. If you guys haven't noticed, I have a different webcam now that we had just kind of like in the storage. So I'm trying to see if this is better quality than the last one that we had used, because the previous one I had used seemed like it wasn't the best latency. So hopefully this one is a lot better. Alright, so anyway, F00, there we go. So there's our background color. Got that. Every painting needs a frame, so wrap the canvas element in another div and then give that the frame class. So we'll go div class frame. We'll put one down here. There we go. So now we have our canvas inside here, and then, or this is our canvas, and then we're gonna have a frame on the outside of it. So, actually, let's see if I can. No, okay, so whatever. Oops. There we go. Wanted to see if this bit right here, the outer box around there, was what was causing that. Okay, so let's go ahead and write a new selector. Use the border shorthand. Is 50. Okay, so we're gonna do 50 pixels with a solid, and then make it black. There we go. So remember why this is like that? It's because we specifically set this canvas to be 500 pixels of a width, and this is a full width around. Okay, so the frame is much too wide, so we'll have to set this width to be 500 pixels as well. There you go. So check that. Good there. Now we are on step 14. So now we have to use padding to adjust the spacing within an element. So in the frame, use the padding shorthand property to increase the space between the frame and canvas elements by 550 pixels. So padding would be, what the heck? There we go. Padding would be 50 pixels. There we go. There you go. Now you're kind of seeing it. Here's the content, here's the padding, and then there's the border. So hopefully you're kind of getting a better idea on this now. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and check the code. Okay. So use margins to adjust the spacing outside the element. Margin property of 20 pixels. So the vertical will be 20 and the horizontal margin will be auto. So we'll go ahead, do margin, and we'll do 20 pixels, and then auto to make it in the middle. There we go. So the top and bottom will be 20. Whew. Excuse me. Alright, so check that. We're good there. Add a new div inside the canvas element. Give the new div class a value of 1. That will be the first rectangle. So, adding more divs. So, div class 1. And div. Okay. Man. Whew. It's only 10:19 where I'm at. But it's been a long day. It's been a long mini vacation. You know, whew. Not looking forward to waking up tomorrow morning. That's for sure. So we'll write a new rule that targets the 1 class and sets the width to 425. So we'll do the 1, and then we will set the width to 425. If I can just put it in here. So now we got the height. I'm gonna set that to 150 pixels. Okay, we don't have a background for it yet, so we'll go ahead and put this as background color. Set to EF. Oh, yeah, that's right. EFB762. There we are. Okay. On to the next one. Use margins to position the 1 element on the canvas. So 20 pixels. Jeez. So margin 20 pixels. Auto. There we go. Alright. So as you can see, this is going to need padding to add some space in between here. Alright, so go, and we will add, like I was saying, we will add a padding of 1 pixel. There you go. So there we have a little bit of space in here for padding all the way around. Whew. Man, I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna be sleeping pretty well at night. So, adding 1 pixel padding to the top, bottom, left, right of the canvas. Changed its dimensions to 502 pixels by 602. Replace the padding property with the overflow set to hidden. Changing canvas. Okay, so this padding to the top. Okay, replace the padding property with the overflow set to hidden. Okay. There we go. Okay. So that adds it set to hidden. So it sets it to its original dimensions, but if it's overflowing, it hides it. Wait, I need to go back up one. Oh, okay. So this was on padding. Okay, so if there's an overflow of the canvas, which is here, this is one. Okay, so this is one right here. And then this right here is the canvas. And we're saying the canvas area to overflow. And we're going to do this to hidden. So there we go. So we just hide the overflow. Okay, changing that back to its original dimensions. Okay, so now we're going to add another div with a class set of 2 just below the 1. Okay, so now we will go with div class 2. Okay, so we got our 1 right here. Now we'll add our second one. Jeez. Okay, which will actually be the 2. And then we will set the width to 475 pixels. Okay. How much is the height going to be for this? 200, so height 200 pixels. It'll correct itself. Okay, and we're gonna set the background color to hashtag 8F0401. There we go. And then I assume, yep, we're gonna, so it's gonna do it for all of them. Okay. Okay. So it's automatically determining the space around it to give a margin. Create a new div with a class value of 3. Okay. So we're gonna do the same that we've already been doing. So div class 3, and then end the div, submit, and then we will make a 3 class selector, and then the width to 90%. Okay. Oh, 91%. Excuse me. And then the height will be 28%. Okay. And then background color will be B20403. Okay. And then I assume we're gonna put another margin to auto. Yep. Oh, oops. Margin auto. There we go. Okay. Gotta go to the next one. Man, we're just flying through these. So now, it's helpful to have your margins push in one direction. In this case, the bottom margin of one element pushes the 2 element down 20 pixels, right? In the 2 selector, use margin shortening property to set the top margin to 0. Horizontal margin to auto. Okay. You see the change? So, there. Set the top margin to 0. Horizontal margin to auto. Bottom margin to 20. Okay, so 20 pixels. And then I believe does it automatically do the horizontals? Okay, guess that works. But usually if it goes clockwise. It goes top, right, bottom, left. So okay. But I guess in here in the auto it does both the horizontals, so that works. So this will remove its top margin, horizontally center it, and set its bottom margin to 20 pixels so that way it's all separated. Okay. Down to 34. The colors and shapes of your paintings are too sharp to pass as a Rothko. Use the filter property to blur the painting by 2 pixels in the canvas element. Okay. So, we're already in the canvas element, so filter the blur, and we want to do it by 2 pixels. There you go. There's our blur. Check it out. Looks good. We'll go. Create the rule that targets both 1 and 2. Increase their blur effect by 1 pixel. So, okay. So we'll do 1 and 2. And we will set these both to blur. Yeah. That was right? No. It's not that. I already forgot it. It's not blur. It's filter. Because we're filtering, making the blur effect. No. 1 pixel. Because we have to choose what filter we're wanting. And we're wanting the blur effect. So there we go. So there we go. So we're blurring 1 and 2 by an extra 1 pixel. And we're increasing the blur of 3 by 2 pixels. So we're basically getting the hang of typing this out. So filter blur 2 pixels. Pretty soon you're not even going to be able to see this thing. So we'll go ahead and submit. Rectangles are too small and their edges don't have the soft quality of a painting. Rectangles are too small. Increase the area and soften by setting its box shadow. Ah. Okay. So we're gonna make the box shadow. Okay. Ready? So 0, 0. So this is the top. This is the offset. Then we got 3 pixels for blur, and then we have 3 pixels for spread, and then we have the color. EFB762. Okay. So what happens if we took this and 45? Yeah, see? That's why. So just increased it a little bit. So same box shadow declaration. But change the color from EFB762 to 8F0401. So 0, 0, 3 pixels. Also 3 pixels, and then we need the 8F0401. There we go. There. See the subtle difference? I mean, you can, you might be able to see it. So 0, 1. There. It's a very minuscule amount, very small. All right, so we'll check that. Nice. Okay, I think we're good there. So we will add a box shadow to 3, 0, 0, 5 pixels blur, and 5 pixel spread. And we're going to use this B20403. There we go. Now it's slightly a little bit bigger. Submit. So now the corners of each rectangle are too sharp. So round each corner by 9 pixels using the border radius property. My favorite one. We did this in the survey. We did this here in the survey. We actually did a lot of these within the survey. So radius 9 pixels. So see in the top here how they're a little bit more curved now? It's exactly what we're wanting. So we'll go ahead, submit. Alright, we're now on 41. In the 2 selector, we're going to do the top left and the bottom right. To the radii to 8 pixels. In the top right and top left, radii to 10 pixels. So we're going to do border radius. And so we will do top left and bottom right. So 8 pixels, 10 pixels, 8 pixels, 10 pixels. Is that what it's wanting? Okay. Can't really tell too much because it's kind of blurry, but you know, you kind of get the idea. you know, we'll just see what happens. I'm trying to get the music not to where it's not like super loud, so like you can still be able to hear me, at least try to. Okay, so that's right. So top left 8 pixels, top right 10, bottom left 8 pixels, bottom right 10. Oh no, it goes top. So no, so it goes top left 8 pixels, top right 10 pixels, bottom right 8 pixels, and bottom left 10 pixels. It's okay. Yeah. Accepts up to 4 values to round them right and bottom left corners right. Round the top left corner of 3 by 30 pixels. Top right by 25, bottom right by 60, and bottom left by 12. So if we go like this, border, radius, 30 pixels, 25 pixels, 60 pixels, and 12 pixels. So now, if I move, hold on, if I move my screen, my webcam a little bit, if you look right here at the bottom, now it kind of looks like a messenger. Like if you send something in Messenger, and that's all because of border radius, just changing around the border radius. So there you go. Now if you ever look at your, now if you look at like, you know, on Facebook or Messenger, or, you know, a texting app or something like that, it more than likely has a radius on it. And that's how you kind of make those. So those are pretty important when you come across those. So, alright, I will move this back to where I had it. Okay. Make this full screen again. Okay, check that. Now, a lot of you who don't know how to make your browser full screen like this, all you have to do is just hit F11. And, you know, there's a little hack for people that don't know how to do that. But yeah, F11 makes your whole entire screen your browser. So rotate each rectangle to give them more of an imperfect hand-painted look. Okay, so use the transform property on the one select to rotate it counterclockwise by 0.6 degrees. So transform the selector to rotate it counterclockwise. So rotate, and I believe this would be 0.6 degrees. There we go. Oh, we're going the other way. So right, counterclockwise. So it's a little off and it kind of drives me nuts, but it does show you now how to make those rotations. So alright, now let's check the code out. Should be good. There we go. Now I did think of the subtract, you know, the minus symbol first, but I mean, I just threw it in there to see what would happen, and apparently I did alright. So sometimes you just have to to mess around with it to see if it does what you need it to. That's like one of the biggest parts of web design. So rotate. Okay, so now we have to rotate this one. So transform, rotate, and then this will actually go clockwise. So 0.4 degrees. And come on. Oh, I guess it is a little crooked. So I think we're good with that. Okay, so next challenge with this final step, it'll be complete. So we're gonna do a rotation. Oh, transform, rotate, and now 0.2 degrees. There we go. Is it counterclockwise? Oh, I missed that. Now, you gotta be careful. If it's all highlighted and you start typing, it might delete everything, so don't want that. But yeah, you can kind of see it barely. You can see this one, the top one's going like this, the middle one's kind of going like this, just ever so slightly, and then the bottom one is going like this, very slightly. So I know some of you can't really see it too much, but that's what it's doing. All right, let's go ahead, and we did it. That is the end of that one, of the box model. So now you know how to rotate your boxes, and you know how to put proper padding and margins. We did more of, you know, the shadow boxes, box shadows. Now, I believe Flexbox, this is one of the most important lessons. So this is like one of the bigger things that are brand new with responsive design. And this will greatly improve your websites by tenfold. And, you know, you'll be using this a whole lot. Basically, the giant concept is like putting like a bunch of building blocks and being able to, you know, whenever you change the dimensions of the screen, it's going to like stack appropriately and do what you want it to do by your own commands. So I think we could go ahead and do this. This is only like 14. I know I kind of started a little bit later tonight, and that's on me. But I mean, you know, what can they do? So, why don't we just go ahead and let's just do this, knock it out, and then we'll just start on the new one right after. But yeah, this is like one of the biggest parts of web development is the Flexbox. So be wary of that. Yeah, let's unless anyone has any objections and would rather, you know, probably put this in another video, we can, or another session, and you know, that way it gives you guys time to digest that box model a little bit more. If not, you know, we can just keep chugging ahead. I mean, personally, I think we'll have a bit of extra time, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'll go ahead and do this. All right, well, no objections. I think people are wanting to see more, so you know what? Let's go ahead and let's continue this lesson. So starting off on Flexbox. So first things first, we have the, oh my god, if we ever get through it. Okay, so HTML, put the HTML, lang, in, oh my gosh, HTML, okay, put in our head, there. Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure that's what it wants us to do. So there we go. Got our head, body, all that in there. We're good. Okay. In the head, we're gonna do our viewport. So our meta tag with. Okay. Is that all we're doing? Okay. So name, viewport, content. This is the one we had a little bit of trouble kind of remembering, but it's width equals device. Oh my god. Width, comma, initial. Scale equals 1. There we go. Oh, oops. Yeah, self-closing. Okay, next one, we do another meta, giving it the char set. UTF-8. Remember, telling the browser. Okay, and then I believe that is it for right now. So that's good, and then we add the title. That is going to be photo gallery. Okay, and then a link. Sheet, and then HTML. ref hyperreference to styles.css, because that's what we have right here. Alrighty, so we're good at that. Okay, so in the body we add a header element for the top, and then we'll add a header right here, closing. Then we add, it wants us to add the class of header. Class of header to it, okay. And then inside that, we will do an H1 with CSS Flexbox photo gallery /H1. Okay. What else? Gallery. So we will do a div class gallery. Okay. And then create 9 image elements. All right. So we will do image, and we will copy this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, pardon me. know what? This will just be a lot easier if I just went oop, oop, oop. And right here. Okay, so now we got 9 image elements. Your new div should come after your header element. Oh. So it's not in the header element, it is after the header element, which makes sense. But there is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Why is there an extra? Okay. Whew. Alright, so we got 9. Alright, next give each image a source attribute according to its order in the document. The first should have a 1. So we're just going to do this with from 1 to 9. So we'll go ahead and source. And we will put in these. So in there. Okay, so that's the first one. We'll go ahead and copy this. Oh, so much easier. There we go. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now we have a different one for each. That's cute. Okay. Anyway, we should be good there. So now we have 9 images. So now, normalize your box model by creating a for everyone. Okay. So it's going to take everything and do a box sizing. Border box. Okay. Alright, so we have everything as a border box. Your images are too big, create a dot gallery. So within the gallery, we're only selecting the images within the gallery, and we're going to do a width of 100%. And we're going to do a max width of 350 pixels. So there we go. And you can see all these images are of varying sizes. So we're gonna have to oh, here we go. Height 300 pixels. So there we go. As you can see, some of these are a bit off. That's okay. Move the margin from your body elements so the font family to sans, and set this font size to sans serif. So body, so margin be 0. Font family sans serif. And then it wants a background color to be F5, F6, F7. So if I took away this border box, so I got that. So the margin has a body of 0. Okay, so anyway, what's the next one? Align your header text in the center. So dot header, text, align, center. Make the text uppercase using the text. Oh. So there you go. Using the text transform, you can make it lowercase or uppercase. Give it a padding of 32 pixels. Okay. Set the background to 0A, 0A23. Okay. And color for the text would be #FF for white, and then border bottom, it wants 4 pixels solid with a FDB DB347. There you go. So now we have a header right here with a bottom border to separate from the rest. We'll check. Okay. So now we are getting into Flexbox. So now for this one, Flexbox is a one-dimensional CSS layout that can control the way items are spaced out and aligned within the container. So to use it, give an element a display property of flex. This will make the element of a flex container. Any direction children of a flex container are called flex items. Any direct children of a flex container are called flex items. Okay, there we go. So in the gallery, we are wanting to make the display as, now watch this, flex. Now you see that? It's going to go to the side. So all these will be flex. Now each one of these will be a flex item. So we'll see what happens. Watch. So Flexbox has a main and a cross axis. The main axis is defined by the flex direction property, which has 4 possible values. Row, which is the default. Horizontal axis with flex times from left to right. Row reverse, which goes from right to left. Column, vertical axis with flex times from top to bottom. Column reverse, vertical axis with the items from bottom to top. So, and the axes and directions will be different depending on the text direction. The values shown are for left to right text direction. So we can try the different values to show how they affect the layout. When you are done, set an explicit flex direction of row on the gallery element. So flex direction, so row, which is default. So let's do the row reverse. So see, it's going from right to left. Where are we? Where's that? Oh, there we go. Okay. We can do column. So you got these down here. And then you have, just add reverse. Now see, you got the bottom element now going to the top item. Alright, so we check the code. Oh no, oops, my bad, that needs to be row. When it's done, it's supposed to be row. So there you go. Alright, so now that we are looking at this, we notice that it's just going off the screen. We don't want that. So there is a property called flex wrap. Determines how your flex items behave when the flex container is too small. Setting it to wrap will allow the items to wrap to the next row or column. No wrap will prevent your items from wrapping and shrink them if needed. So we'll do the flex wrap, and we can put, so let's try this. So we do wrap. Now look, see, you have all these. Now if we go ahead and shrink this down a little bit, like when it gets too small, oh my gosh, if I can just hit it, there we go. See, when it hits that, it automatically comes down and it shortens it. So now makes this right here, and then when it gets bigger, it now makes it able to do this. So to spread all the other images out. Now remember how it said no wrap? Now we don't want no wrap. So what happens is whenever we start doing that, it starts shrinking the images. Prevent your eyes from wrapping and shrink them if needed. So so what we're wanting it to do is to wrap. We want it to actually, you know, whenever we condense it, we want it to go on another on a new line. So that way we see all the images. Submit. Now the justify content property determines how the items inside a flex container are positioned along the main axis, affecting their position in the space around them. So give your gallery selector a justify content property with center. So justify content center. So see, now they'll always be in the center. But this is a good, see that? That's just great. So now you can have 3 rows or 2 rows, or, you know, well, you can have 3 rows, you can have 4, and then you can just have 1 column. But yeah, you can have 3 columns and 4, 5, yeah, just as much as the width of the screen and the percentage that you specified. Since we made the max width 350 pixels of the image and the width is only 100%, so it can only be, you know, it only has so much room to, you know, spread out to. Okay, anyway, that is a really big, one of the big things about Flexbox. So, okay, so now we're at 15. The line items property positions the flex content along the cross axis. In this case, with your flex direction set to row, your cross axis would be vertical. Okay. To vertically center your images, give your gallery selector an align items property with center value. So okay. Okay. Positions the flex content across the cross axis. In this case, set to row, your cross axis would be vertical. So the cross axis is right here. Main axis is here. Yeah. So give your gallery selector a padding property set to 20 pixels. So set to 20 pixels by 10 pixels. Okay. And then a max width of 1400 pixels. And margin 0 auto to center it. Okay. So there we go. Yeah, it gets too short. It's condenses it. But yeah, see, now you actually have rows right here. Just by giving it that padding and saying the max width of the photo gallery. So no matter what, it can't be any bigger than this right here. There we go. And then of course, no margin up at the top or bottom. Putting an auto on the sides to make it automatically be centered. So yeah, the justify content aligns the justifies where the content with inside these boxes are, like the flex items, making it center, and then aligning those items to be in the center as well. So if I were to if I took this off, yeah, see, it takes everything in the gallery and puts it in the middle. So it puts it in the center. Right. And if we took away this align item. Oh wait, I could just do this. Oops. So we'll take away the center. Well, yeah. So justify content in the horizontal, putting it this way, and then this does the vertical, so that way it centers it from the bottom and the top to in the center content. Okay. Had to do that because you know previously whenever I would do these kind of things, it's easy to get like tripped up on some of like these things. So I want to make sure I fully understood what exactly is happening with those. So yeah, if your display flex in the gallery, the flex direction that you're wanting to go in, the wrap, justifying our content on the horizontal axis or the main axis, and then aligning the items on the vertical axis. You have your padding, you have the max width, and then you have your margin. So, okay. Alright, so on the gallery image itself, have become distorted. This is because the images have different aspect ratios. Rather than setting each aspect ratio individually, you can use the object fit property. Huh. Not gonna lie, this is a new one for me. I haven't actually heard of this one, so set to cover. Oh, never mind. I have. I've heard of this. Okay. This will tell the image to fit the image container while maintaining aspect ratio, resulting in cropping to fit. At least I think I have. I've used that. But yeah, see, it uses the same aspect ratio for all of these. So now they all look better. But yeah, the object fit setting to cover. I'll definitely have to remember that. And if I don't, then hopefully some of you guys will fill me in on some of those. Hold on just a second. Okay. Okay. So we did the cover, so we did the aspect ratios. Now we're on step 17. Now we're on 18. Okay. So your images need some space between them. The gap CSS shorthand property sets the gaps, also known as gutters, between rows and columns. So this is the biggest thing with FreeCodeCamp, and why I love this so much is the fact of you can read all these things, and to your heart's content, but eventually, obviously, you're gonna have to do these. You're gonna have to put it into practice, and so FreeCodeCamp just throws it all together, and right after you learn it, you can just automatically put it into practice. So we're gonna do the gap shorthand property, sets the gap. So we're gonna set a gap, and it's row gap and column gap. So properties provide this functionality for flex, grid, and multi-column layout. You apply the property of the container element. So okay, so flex container, a gap property with a 16 px as the value. So 16 pixels. Now look at that. Now it's evenly spaced out, which is really neat. So, spoiler alert, when you do these things for like your portfolios, and you know, I'm probably going to do this when we get to our personal portfolio, but you'll be able to put the languages you know inside of here, and like the things that you've done, and you know, you can just keep adding on to them, and you can make it a, you know, Flexbox, and you can make, you know, you can put your sites or images of your projects into like your gallery, and you know, you can take this as a lesson and just go ahead and make, you know, that area within your portfolio kind of shine just by doing that. Like a good display for like employers and stuff. So submit that. Smooth out your images a bit by giving a border radius. Okay, so we already did this previously. We did it with 10 pixels. So there you go. See, we just give a little tiny bit of a border smooth on the sides of these to make it look like, you know, pictures right here. So the border radius really makes things stand out. And if you wanted to, you could just do this, which I think is really neat. If you do 50%, it'll actually make it like an actual circle, kind of like how you do profile pictures and stuff, like on websites. So if you do like a 50%, like it'll actually make a full circle for your images or whatever you're wanting to use. So it's a good thing to remember. But we'll switch this back to 10 for now. So check that. The after pseudo element creates an element that is the last child of the selected element. You can use it to add an empty element after the last image. If you give it the same width as the images, it will push the last image to the left when the gallery is in a 2-column layout. Right now it is the center because you set justify content center on the container. Create a new selector using on the, okay, so after the gallery, so this is a good thing to remember. Because you know, you see a lot of the before and a lot of the after pseudo selectors, like right here, and you'll see these coming up a lot. So if you ever think like, man, what does that mean? This is how to know what's gonna happen, what they're used for. So in here we'll put the content property with empty string, and then the width will be 350 pixels. So you can see right here, instead of it being right in the middle right here, after the gallery is placed, it adds a width of 350. So right here it just adds a little blank space. So see, so you have a full thing right here. When it condenses down to here, you have one, and then there's, well, you can't, okay, I need to move this real quick so you can kind of see it, but okay, so right here you can see all these right here, but when we open it up a bit, see, now it creates this little dark or a blank area right here, and then when it opens this far, you see it's gonna have everything in it, and yeah, and since we have that max width, you know, of it being like 1400, you know, it can't be any bigger than this. So then when we close this, you know, this is what that gallery after is. Like if there's nothing to fill that area, and instead of this being in the middle, this puts this off to the side and then puts nothing here. So that's what that after pseudo did. Alright, so the alt attribute should describe the image content. So to complete the project, add an alt attribute to all 9 of your cat images to describe them. Use a value of at least 5 characters long for each. So now we have an alt attribute. And what's the first one? Sleeping cat. On blanket. So the next one, we have an alt, and this will be playful cat. Alt bean boy. Let's cat what's this one do? Chilling. So there we go. We'll just put that cat chilling. And then we got alt here. That's a cat sleeping under covers. And then you have another alt that is cat has cat in shock. You know, people who have like accessibility settings on are gonna read some of these and they're just gonna be like, what the hell is it? Like, I wish I could know more. So like, who designed this? I'm gonna just have to raise my hand and be like, hey look, I did that. Cat. Oh man. Cat with stern look. There we go. And then another one for alts. Cat boy about to jump out from covers. Alright. Then we got another alt. Alright, so cat is curious, looking at camera. I should do that, looking at camera. There we go. That makes it a little better. And then the final one. A couple of lazy boys. Beans. Cats. There we go. Throw that out there. Alrighty. So, I don't know what's going to do next, but we have now went through Flexbox. This is a major, and if I can't emphasize this enough, a major, development. of how you want things to look, especially within like a photo gallery. Most things are used but with like a photo gallery. But you could do this with like locations for a website. Like if you're trying to put in like many different locations for somewhere, um, and you want them all listed, kind of in a row, or underneath, kind of like in this format, and like on a you gotta think on the mobile site. If you want them to be like this, you can have a location here, another location here, and just keep going down with it, with like borders around it. Um, yeah, you just have fun with it. There's many different ways that you can do things with Flexbox, and it's relatively new. So this is kind of one of those relatively new functions or new features, along with grid, which we'll be having to go over, I believe, probably in the next one. So grid is essentially kind of like Flexbox, although grid is like more of like a lot more building blocks kind of things, and setting specific widths of things, and it's being able to set sizes like specifically how you want it, using like fractions, that sort of thing. But yeah, you'll see that probably in the next one. But this is Flexbox. This whole thing, you will definitely be using this in a lot of projects, especially for e-commerce sites, when you like want people to purchase things. If you have like items displaying, in like rows and that sort of stuff, and someone's looking at it on the mobile screen, well, you're going to want those to be looking at like from the top down. And then you have buttons where people are just like, okay, I want this like in ascending, descending order, something like that. That's when you probably have to switch those directions, like the flow direction, flex direction. You would put that like column reverse or row reverse, whichever you want to do. So those are just a few situations to like kind of really think about. So yeah, here you are. This this whole session. Well, let's see. I believe there's nothing next. Okay, so this. What is this? And you think, like, what will this describe? Oh well. So we're gonna just make a nutrition facts label. I don't think we're going to use I don't think we're gonna use grid for this. Let me take a look here. I'm gonna go back to the responsive design. We are now typography. So there we go. So typography. That will be our next lesson. Hold on. I just realized you guys can't probably see most of this, so I'm just gonna throw this down here real quick. There we go. That way you guys can see what I'm seeing. So there you go. Now you have a whole entire nutrition facts label, which is what we're gonna do the next time, because we're not gonna do it this time. I think we're almost at the 2 hours. We'll just I'm also gonna enjoy the rest of the night before having to work the next day. So right now we've already went over the box model, and we went over the Flexbox and how to use Flex, which, you know, two great things to learn. So as you probably saw on that feature a little bit not too long ago, not the feature, but that little syllabus that shows that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing another certification project coming up here soon, where we will be doing a tribute page. So be on the lookout for that. All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap this one up. I definitely appreciate all you guys kind of sticking around tonight. You know, oh, oops. Oh well. We'll continue this lesson. These lessons, maybe tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. I don't know. We'll have to see. Just be on the lookout for the notifications again. I might be starting. Yeah, just around normal time, 9 o'clock, like 9:30, that sort of range. And yeah, we'll go ahead and start those again. You know, if you have any questions, you know, feel free to ask me. Either, you know, on here or on YouTube. All these lessons, like I said, if anyone wants to look at past lessons that I did, you can go up on my YouTube channel. It should be on my channel, like my channel page. You're more than welcome to please subscribe, and, you know, join me for, you know, future sessions. And, you know, it'd be beneficial to look back at the previous sessions that I've done, and like you can even catch up on one of the off days that, you know, I'm not streaming, and do what you need to do. Or, you know, you can, you know, just not watch me stream, and you can just go ahead and just stick to my YouTube videos and just try to follow along that way. And then when you're, you know, all caught up, you know, you're more than welcome to come back and join a stream with me. But I see a lot of people that are currently in the chat that, you know, are reoccurring, and, you know, I really appreciate you guys, you know, coming back and, you know, willing and wanting to work with me, which is fantastic. That's amazing. And, you know, I hope to see you guys become really well-suited developers someday, and, you know, be better than, you know, me. Because, you know, I'm as you see in some of this stuff, I'm learning the same way you guys are. You know, I'm not gonna say I know everything, and, you know, truthfully, in college, you just pretty much get all the fundamentals that you can, and then after college, you pretty much just build upon those. And, you know, college is not going to teach you everything, but they will teach you, at least, you know, if you're going, will teach you building blocks. But, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, college is always the answer. You know, you can learn this kind of stuff on your own, as you can tell, and, you know, you can build it up your own way. So, but me going through college, I've learned, you know, obviously the fundamentals and stuff, but I'm learning stuff with you guys doing this as well. So, you know, when you see me kind of just like go silent a little bit and just really kind of processing what's happening, you know, that's me just kind of digesting the things that I'm learning and trying to be better. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's beneficial, you know, to everybody. Now, I will say when we get to like JavaScript and that sort of stuff and start doing like a lot of those algorithms, I'm not going to I'm not going to be like 100% what's the word, knowledgeable. So like there's going to probably be a lot of times of me just, you know, chugging through some of that stuff and trying my hardest to, you know, to figure out all these algorithms. So, but yeah, we're getting through a lot of the basics, a lot of, you know, interesting stuff that, you know, are a little bit more advanced now. And yeah, it's definitely becoming a fun ride so far. And I just appreciate, you know, all you guys coming out and, you know, spending your time with me. It's awesome. And, you know, I really appreciate it. And, you know, I love to see your guys' work someday. I hope, you know, I know I'm slacking on it, but I need to make like a Discord of other people and other users, to be able to communicate with each other and to be able to post your own stuff, you know, to the community. And I know I have to work on that, so I'll make that as like an action item that I'll probably set up. Matter of fact, I'll put it right now. Big bold. So create Discord page for stream. All right. So I did. I wrote it down. I'm definitely gonna see if I can get that up and going, and hopefully I can announce it in the next session. And I'll put a link on YouTube as well for anyone who wants to go ahead and, you know, join the local Discord. So, all right, I have really good ambitions for the future. So, all right, I hope you guys have a good night. You know, enjoy your day at work tomorrow if you got work. You know, enjoy your day at school if you got that. You know, do your best. You know, take one day at a time. And, you know, just try to enjoy your day to the fullest. All right. Well, you all have a good night. I will catch you in the next session.